No, and let's look at the numbers. Why are we looking about like champions? And let's start off with Dr. Phil Barter. You produced a very, very nice stats pack season so far. Absolute treasure trove of stuff in there. What did you see that stood out, and what were the good things and what were the bad things? And basically, open the floor for you. Maybe you want to talk about.
Jesus, that's like an open book, and I'm not sure I could do with that. No, I think it's when you come off the back of 3 defeats, and actually you look at the start numbers, and I think sometimes it gives me a little bit of premise, but there's some things that worry. I mean, the top level stuff for me is that we're always going to dominate field till like a 60-40. That's not going to change. Even if you go through the halves, which I can give you them for every single half, every single game, every single period, there aren't many periods where we don't dominate that. So that says to me that we're getting the right territory, right? So our play is positioning ourselves into a good play. Possession as well. Genuinely, we have the share of possession. I would say 55 and above, maybe 60-40 in a lot of games, particularly over the periods. The EPB or threat to XG conversion, which I spoke about at the beginning of the season.
We always
I always speak about that because I think it's an important metric to have that not many others look at because they're not that boring as me. But I would say we're around 65 on average for all the games. If you look at it per half, a game we're about 62 first half, 68, nearly 70 second half. The worrying thing for me is the first half, we are letting the opposition convert on average at 90%, just short of 90%. And I will share it in 2 seconds for you, Darth. But second half, we do improve that, which is good to see. Does that work? There you go. So, second half, we improve our defensively, our EPP stop. So we drop the opposition down to about 55 from about nearly 90. So we are having a problem, I would suggest, in the first half of games. I think we've all said that. We've had a couple of horror shows and then we've corrected. But I don't think that's that too distinct from last season as well. I think we always said we start with a habit of starting slow, working things out, coming second half and turning things around. So that pattern is still kind of there. The other things that stick out to me as being a bit of a concern, shots on target, I've got as an average about 4.3 a game, which seems low. 10 penalty box shots is 10 a game. That's a game that we're letting the opposition have nearly 7. That's extremely high from last season. We just weren't letting people in our box. Big chances, again, on average, we're letting the opposition have 2, and we're only doing 3, which is a difference of 1. Yes, that changes on the halves again. We bring the oppo down in the second half. Again, that trend of first half, second half being better than first. We increase ours slightly. XG production, we're about 1.7. Theirs is about 1 point. Opposition 1.14. I think, Darth, you said earlier in Discord, was it 0.8 is good difference?
XG difference. I said that somebody asked the question, what's a good XG difference per game over the season? So I said 0.8. Anything over 0.8 is good. Means you're a good team. Cool. If you can get to 1 per match, then you are going to contend for the title. And if you're at 1.2, you're almost certainly going to win the title.
Yeah. So we're at about 0.6 by mine at the moment.
Fourth or fifth place team. We look like a fourth or fifth place team in the numbers.
Yeah. Does that improve over the halves? I'd like to tell you it does, but it doesn't. We go from being 0.1 difference in first half versus second half up to about 0.6. So, but the big things that we were chatting off mic about, this is stuff that happens by game state. See, game state, when we were last season, we were extremely good at, I think we were very dominant at draw. We were very dominant at leading, and garbage, we kind of let them do lots of things that we just went, go on and go and do it. But draw, considering we spent a large proportion of our time in a drawn game state, our penalty box touches are much more than last year. I think if I do it by totals, we have nearly 3,000 touches.
We are
as a team
about
draw.
54% of our time spent in the Premier League has been drawing this year, and about 26% winning. Last year, it was about 43% draw and 41% win. That's huge.
It's a huge change. I've got totals and the averages on the for the guys to talk between, but that gives you an idea about our total touches for draw is nearly 3,000. Our total touches in garbage time is less than 700 if you add the two together. It's just a complete stark contrast where we were. Bridges.
Do you want to go to the Monte Carlos? Because one thing I did do with this is because you ran this exact same pack as well at the end of last season, right?
Yes.
Now that includes the 4 dead rubbers at the end of last season when we had a worse defence than Southampton.
Yes.
Right? So if we'd have done a season review stats pack at 34 games after Spurs, right, our numbers would have been a lot better across the board. They kind of got polluted in those last 4 games and brought down a bit because of how poor we were after we won the league. And what I did was I went back and looked at the game straight. Is this all game? This
is the whole game. I was going to start with all.
Yeah. So this year, right, our Monte Carlo, based on this is on 10,000 sims. How much XG we have is how much XG the opposition have in the whole game. This year it's 65% Liverpool win, 27% opposition win. Right.
Yes.
Last year it was 76% Liverpool win, 21% opposition win.
Yeah,
that's a big shift.
That's a huge shift.
Yeah, our win percentage has gone down 11 percentage points.
Yeah,
and when you look at when we're drawing, it's even worse. So the game state when we're drawing shows 60% Liverpool win on 10,000 sims, 26% opposition. Last year we were 79% Liverpool win when drawing, and 16% opposition win. So we've gone down 19 points, and the opposition has gone up 10 points. That's a 26% swing.
I know.
Based on it's mammoth.
It's a huge, and we've said that, and that also we were exceptionally good at converting a draw state into a lead state. But we were very good at that. Do you know what I mean? We're very good at that, and the amount of time we spent in draw state as well gives you. It will affect the Monte Carlo because you've got more time. It's just a life one minute. Yeah.
So just following the basic thread of this argument is that scoring the first goal is the most important thing in football because game state dictates everything. And therefore, when you're on level, what you want to do, the whole premise of playing footy is to have lots of good chances yourselves and restrict the opposition to not very many. And that's what we call a controlling team. And this year, we are spending plenty of time at drawing, but while we're in that drawing game state, we're not in any way dominant. We are not having that many shots. We're having a lot fewer shots than we were last year and a lot fewer good chances. I'm sure he's got all the high-quality chance numbers to come on to. And the opposition, we're conceding a lot more to the oppo. We're conceding about 30% more, both in shots, big chances at the other end. So it's a double whammy. So we're spending longer in the game state and we're a lot worse at it.
Yeah, I know. And the annoying thing is, once we do get into a winning game state, we're 84%, 85%. So it's just getting to that winning position. We're not doing this season readily amount. That's just very annoying. But yeah.
So the angle I did was when I looked at your pack, and I thought, I was looking at it for the stories about why aren't we very good when the game is level. What is changed really this season versus last to when the game is level? I'm going to ask you to just go to a couple of pages for us, Bart. So the first one is the pass maps for let's look at the game state drawing on the pass map.
Here you go. First half. There you go.
Yeah. So the game state drawing pass map first half, right? First thing to note is that Cody Gakpo doesn't have a connection with anyone, not a single player. You could always say, obviously, the main one should be with his fullback, right? But he doesn't have a connection with any of the forwards or any of the midfielders, right? That is just nuts, right? Secondly, Milos Kerkez doesn't have any connections with anybody apart from Van Dijk.
Yep.
So our whole of our left side has been a non-factor in when the game's been tied this season, right? And Mo Salah has only got a connection with Dominic Szoboszlai.
Yeah, but this is 25 passes as well, Darth. It's not our usual
Yeah.
game one, which is 5. This is 25 passes.
And even more important, I guess, for the whole team is Florian Wirtz, the guy that the team is now being built around, doesn't have any connections either.
Yeah.
So you look at that and saying you're trying to build a dominant team, and there's so many things that aren't in place.
Yeah, it's worrying that your two mainstays of the team for the past 8-10 years.
Yeah,
are still your highest threat. The two darkest red circles, for those who are not colourblind, I read them out. Van Dijk and Mo have still got the highest amount of EPV. So they're still even though Mo has been starved of ball, he's only get one pass connection now, right, over 25. His touches are down. I'm sure Sarah will come on to that. He's still, in the attacking 6 players, has the highest amount of EPP threat production of any of them.
Yeah. So it's just a hot mess, really. That you can't. You can't. I mean, can't be this bad. Yeah.
Second half is not much better. I'm not going to lie to you. That's it's not pretty.
I mean, if just to be fair, if you look at the whole season, and then so we just look at all. But even here, there were especially in the first half, right? Again, there's limited connections here because there's still no connection between Kirkes and Gakpo, and the only one Gakpo has is with Van Dijk.
Yeah, and it's a low percentage probability as well.
Yeah, Wirtz has a connection with Grav and Van Dijk and no one else. And then Salah still doesn't have a connection with anybody else. So these are first halves of all the season, and we got used to us playing pretty crap. And this is what it looks like, I guess, in a data viz format.
Yeah, and if you looked at last season, you would have seen we got used to this structure, right, of a U with a spiky left and right. The 2 10s or 2 9s would pop in around this area, but there'd definitely be a triangle here and a triangle here, right, on the left and right. And we dominate these 4 squares, which is the right half space and the ones around it, and then the left half space. And we moaned about the fact that the 9s wasn't in there, where we typically play with a 9 that dropped off and be split with Dom. But it was a well uniform structure. We knew what we knew what a Liverpool pass back was going to look like game on game. Now
there were pretty much connections all over the team. The only one was probably would be the centre forward. But
now one of the reasons why it is also random is because every game's been random. To be frank with you, there's not been many games we've gone all that similar. They've all been very, very different. Apart from Van Dijk, Kanate, and Intergrab, this triangle in the middle has been pretty firm, as you'll see by the width lines in every game state, in every picture. Those 3 players have got large discs, i.e. they got a lot of passes, the links are large, and also the link with the goalkeeper, right? Which will be interesting to see how that changes with Ginny coming in now. But it's. I think we come back to what we said last pod is the patterns we are seeing. It would be good to see them starting to develop because I'm not sure we haven't seen them in the biz yet coming out at all.
Yeah, and just before we let Side loose from his long run, like Bob Willis style. The other thing I want to bring you on to is the EPV maps. Because I think we'll do the whole season, and then we'll do we'll do the drawing one. And again, I also went back to look at what we did last season, and with this one, the numbers on the edge of the final third look quite good, and there's a lot of red up to the edge of the final third. But it's once you get into that zone of the pitch, the top. You divide the pitch into 6 quadrants, don't you? That top 6 level, basically with opponent box. We've only got 17% of our threat in that last bit of the pitch. Last year, we had 27% over the season. And it was consistent. We had, we had 10% on the right wing, we had 9% on the left wing, we had 8% in the centre, in the penalty box. And we have got very little in the advanced wing spaces and also in the centre of the penalty area, and that's more excusable in so far as we got new attackers, we're learning to play, we've got a new 10, we've got a new left back, and everybody's learning, and you can kind of see why it's not clicking in that final third because players aren't 100% owned to playing with each other yet. But I think the key here is that the EPV shows you that it's getting to the final third or right to the edge of the opponent's box, but no further.
Yeah, I think we are, whether we think the system is right for the build to get to final third or not, but we are getting in the final third. It's just then we're not moving that threat. Because as you said, the line back from where you've quoted there has got, what's that, 16, 22.
Quite a lot.
Sort of 40, yeah, quite a lot. That's just short of just over mid-30s. So that's quite a lot of threat production in literally the set of boxes off out of their box.
So there's a lot of final balls not finding the...
Yeah, it's that little thread. It's the overpass. It's someone deciding not to take the opportunity to pass. Yeah, which could be happen. You know, if you look at some of the opportunities where we have got players into the hot zones, I would say correctly, they decided not to play the pass, so therefore it just goes away. So I think we are getting there. Well, getting is a bit. We are getting into an area to be able to produce a telling contribution. We're just not making that telling contribution, which is where we're not converting. It's a decent threat, and that threat then isn't getting converted to XG. And as you said, in draw state,
it's even worse. We're getting
even worse.
So we're only getting 15% level with the opponent's box in that last zone of the pitch this season. It was 25% last year, and on the flip side of that, our opponents are having more in our box than they did last season.
Exactly. Like last season, I'm sure you've been back. We were not letting threat in our box. We just weren't. It just wasn't a thing. It was like I said early on. We weren't letting shots in our box. We weren't letting high XG in our box. It's seemingly become a problem for us. So I know we've started to correct it a little bit last few games, but it's still, there are areas of concern down the middle of the pitch which are letting us.
If you look at that. If you look at that opposition threat in the top right quadrant, they've got 10% in the right wing. Yeah, and so they've got 13% in the wings either side of the penalty area. That's way too much.
Yeah. It's not something we were used to seeing last season. It's definitely a change this season. So yeah.
Sai, your thoughts on why we are not as good as last season?
That's fascinating. That's like a real granular statistical breakdown of what's happening. I'm not entirely sure we're covering quite why, but that's definitely what's happening right now, and what's caused that is statistically what's causing the consequences of us not being attractive. Let's say, being efficient, being threatening. There is. It's really interesting. I was of the same opinion as both of you that we can't stop people running through the middle of us this season. And last season we were way better at keeping people out of the box.
Yeah, getting behind as well. Getting behind.
Yeah, shots in the box are up, but like this weird stat that it blew me away. It's only a small one. This isn't really a comparison to last season, but this is a comparison to one player, and you'll know instantly as soon as I say it. Shots faced per game from counterattacks, from fast breaks. This season is the highest in the last 5 at 0.86. Last season was 0.84. Yeah, per game. Last season was 0.84, which is not.
Okay.
That's a negligible difference. Season before, 0.82. Season before that, 0.82. Season before that, 0.51. 21-22 was 0.51. What's the difference?
Fab?
Thiago?
No. Fab.
Fab.
Fab and Thiago. Fab, yeah. No.
Yeah, there you go. It's Fab. Before that, 0.36. Imagine. That's less.
So Fab's greatest seasons. Yeah.
In terms of eliminating counterattacks, yeah.
Yeah, which is a huge thing because, as you pointed out many times before, counterattacks are the next highest shot value behind a penalty.
Yeah.
The chance quality from a counterattack of game type of shot type is the second highest value on average behind a penalty, and which leads me to the outcome. The difference in outcome is that can explain all of this stuff, and the difference in our outcome of game and changing game state is the shot value is 0.07 this season, and it was 0.14 last season. So it's double. We were taking double the shot quality last season than we are this season, and we're shooting too early. We're shooting from the wrong areas. We're making bad decisions, and we're shooting into fire. We've got last season. We've got our front five were getting us into the box on average with about 6% of their touches. This season is 3.5% of their touches. Mo is down from 12.5 to 8.5, but nobody else is above a 5. It's like, so he's still our best threat, but we've just taken 17 touches a game off it and given them to somebody else who is not getting us into the box. And if you're setting up a system, a methodology, and the outcome, the desired outcome, the KPI isn't getting us into the hot zone, is flawed, unless you're getting a penalty. I think they're really only the two. If they're not in your top 3 things of your desired KPIs for an attack, you're not going to win anything, because that's where goals are scored. And we're not, as you've demonstrated, we're not getting in the hot zones anymore. No. And we've got, so just quickly, I think a top line stat that demonstrates a big difference to us is goal and big chances created. Minutes per goal and big chances created. That's big chances. Everybody talks about big chances these days. I watched the match of the day thing jabbering on about it. We don't care about those things, but people know what they mean these days, right? So either way, it's people understand that that's a creative stat, that's an attacking stat, yeah. So if we just look at those two things, this season we have Zobo, who's played much better than last season. Everybody talks about has a goal or big chance created every 425 minutes. It's exactly the same. Crazily, it's exactly the same number as last season. That just blew me away. Wow. But apart from that, you've got Grav, who doesn't have the same stuff that Fab does to stop counterattacks and stop high value chances being afforded to the opposition. He this season has this greater license, and that's translated to him going up from a goal or big chance created every 900 minutes to every 181 minutes, which is basically our 5th best attacker. Outside of that, we're creating nothing. So our fullbacks have gone from between them, Trent 155 minutes to 0 from right back, and left backs average 260 between them, and we have Robbo at 298, and Kirkez has yet to basically make even a pass into the opposition half. It feels like we've had one attacking game from him, and he looked like in the last game, didn't he, that perhaps that might be something to come online. And I wonder if there's been a really simplified set of executive program laid out for him. Just do these 3 things, and once you're doing these 3 things in this system, we'll add a couple more each game, and then you can expand your game. Because watching the Hungary the other day, he just looked like the kid that we bought.
Yeah.
So it's not like he can't do it. So I'm expecting that to come online. But having literally no input from our back 5, take the goalie out of it. So only one of our back 5 are having any input into the attack at all. And last season we had Virgil on 700, Ibu on 800, and then we had all 4 fullbacks that were involved in goals and big chances created. And this season we're down to 1 freak from Robbo and 1 header from Virgil in 7 games. So the boss was talking about set pieces. Yeah, for sure, that's going to be played a part. But nobody outside of the attack is getting involved. And that makes a big difference, given that they are taking, on average, 3 shots a game more than they did last season. So outside of the front 3, the rest of the team are taking 3 shots a game more than they did last season, whilst producing less than they did last season. So
Yeah.
that would explain your chance quality thing. If we remember at the beginning of last season, we went through how Diaz was brilliant. It was a brilliant move by Slot for getting Diaz closer to goal because his
September,
his shot distance went down 6 meters from 13.5 average down to 7, and he kept scoring big chances because he kept getting big chances to score. And this season, everybody's average is out. Everybody apart from Grab is gone out. We've gone between 2 meters and like 15. Some of them are just shooting from stupid places. We're getting no great. He's not played a lot of minutes, but we're getting no great attacking output from either of from Mac or Curtis, whoever's playing alongside Grav. And both had played significant roles at various points last season, hadn't they? Going down to high quality chances, which is the granular version of the big chance stuff, because you've listened to this before. I have a specific amount, 0.28 xG to qualify as a high quality chance. This is what I have back for 5 seasons. And through the first 7 games this season, we've created 15 high quality chances, and last season 34. That's
bad.
Absolutely nuts. And in the same time, we've gone up. Last season, we conceded 12, and this season, we've conceded 16. They're not being really converted by the opposition at a higher level. Only 25% of their high quality chances are going in, and last season it was 38. So we've got a lot to thank. They've been saved by Ali this season. Ali's done a nice job saving their high quality chances this season. And last season, so we created 34 in the first 7 games, and this season is 15. So of those 34 that we created, we scored 50%, and we got 68% on target. This season, of the 15, we've only got 46% on target and only scored 40%. So the 2 biggest differences between last season and this season is we're not getting into the hot zone to create high quality chances. We're taking bad chances. But when we get high quality chances, we're missing the target at a 20% higher rate than we were last season. Well, it's actually 50% higher rate than we were last season.
Yeah, 20 percentage points. Yeah. And that ties with the actually up to big chances, where our big chance conversion rate in attack is 31%. Yeah, that's Christian Benteke levels. If you think of what was Christian Benteke, I think was a career 27% converter of big chances, and we are this season at 31, so just slightly better than.
So we've improved on Darwin. Darwin was at 28.
Yes, but you'd like to think with all these centre forwards and stuff like that, you'd think we'd be slightly better.
Well,
anyway,
the worst numbers of big chance conversion is our most expensive player, and even myself, who was the most.
Is he 0 of 4?
And yeah,
is he's 0 out of 4? Isaac is 0 out of 4 in big chances so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's not going to be that way. Like it's not like I'm negative on him, but I'm the least convinced that he's going to be world class of pretty much any Liverpool fan I've spoken to.
Well, I was openly questioning why we doing this, spending this money on this player, So, but
but we can all agree that that's not going to be him. His norm is about 38 or 40%.
Yeah, he's pretty much. Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
very slightly better than your average striker in terms of what he gives you. I think he's about 1.05, and if you ratio expected goals to goals scored, he's about 1.05 in his career. So very slightly. So he adds 5%, which stop. So it's okay. It's fine. He's a plus finisher.
So currently he is about 11. So of the post shot XG compared to his chance quality, he is currently about 11% under. The last season, if you remember, so our strikers last season were Mohamed was 8% over, Gakpo was 3% under, Diogo, sadly, it was 42% under. We talked about it. He was terrible at his shooting was terrible last season, which was really on Diogo like. Diaz ended up the season 15% under, but at the beginning he was really hot. He was like 25% over, and Darwin was 43% under. Lost XG value 43%. This season we've got the Isaac is 11% under. Ekitike is losing 61% of his shot value.
Yeah.
That's not going to be real. Wirtz is losing 89% of his shot value.
Yeah.
That's not going to be real. And Gakpo's losing 82%, even though people are sticking up for him and saying how that his numbers are great because his...
Hang on. That means, though, that he's had some shots which haven't been blocked.
So...